Hey guys. So today, right now, actually, it's October 2nd, 2024, and we're in the middle of, um, we're actually a couple of hours. It was a couple hours ago, it was exact. The new moon solar eclipse in Libra, um, which all morning long I was feeling great. I was feeling full of energy, happy as could be. And then the eclipse hit, and I was like, God, I'm tired. Anyway, I realized that the eclipse was today. It was new moon today. And I was going to do this new moon class as a live on Patreon. And that right at the moment does not seem like a good plan to do. So I decided that rather than put it off for another month, because I keep putting it off and keep putting it off, that I would go ahead and just do a video on it. Because I'm going to do it right now. And the reason why I'm kind of jacked up on doing it is because this is kind of like, this is a big ending and a big new beginning. This Aries Libra axis won't happen again for quite some time. 20 plus years, I think. And we have been going through this since like 2005. It's been a long road. A long, long road. And I can tell by just, things that I'm feeling, things that I'm seeing other people feel. There's a lot of cleansing right now. A lot of people are purging, crying, cleaning out old wounds, old pain, pain, self-inflicted pain, pain that other people have inflicted on you. There's been a lot in my life. I don't know about other people, but I have dealt with huge amounts of pain. And I'm tired of being in pain. I'm tired of all of that. It's time to move on. So, new moon class. When the new moon comes around every month. It is a really good time. New moon is the time where you plant your seeds. And it's the time where you start new projects. So if you can, like if you're getting ready to, like, let's say you have a business and you are getting ready to put out a new line of t-shirts, or I don't know, I do jewelry, so new line of, I don't know, tarot books or something. And you want to wait. Like, even if you finish that project during the full moon, you're going to want to hold off and put that out during the new moon. Or, no, that's not right. You conceive of it. I'm trying to think. Okay, you conceive of it on the new moon. You start making it on the new moon. And if possible, on the full moon, you would release it to the public. Same thing with gardening. You plant your seeds on the new moon. You harvest on the full. So when you're planning, and it doesn't need to be planning a something business. It doesn't need to be planning. I mean, you could decide that you're going to go back to school, or you could be deciding that you don't want to do something anymore. Let's say you want to quit smoking and you are giving yourself, X amount of time to do that, or you've been drinking too much and you want to back off on your drinking, you want to quit drinking, then you could do it for that. Maybe you have, I don't know, maybe you have some issue. Maybe maybe like things are making you upset or angry or whatever, and you're giving yourself, a month or two to take care of those problems. You could say, okay, I need to, really dig down and figure out what is causing my issue. And you can do this program or this new moon manifesting. You can do it on the new moon, and it will help guide you through the steps all the way through. So it will tell you when to act, when not to act, when to go within, when to start, moving around in the material world, when to start making things happen. So it's a really good guide to making changes in your life. Now, I'm going to go through it kind of briefly and just explain how you do it. On Patreon, on our Patreon, or on my Patreon, there is no R anymore. On my Patreon, there is the packet itself. This packet is available for free. On my web page, it's going to be available for $2. And it will be a single download. So it's an instant download. You just go on there and click on purchase. Once you purchase it, it sends you an email, and then you download it and print it. That one on the webpage is in progress. It is not listed yet. I was doing it, and it was really more involved than I really wanted to get into at that moment because I was working on some other things. So I put it on the back burner. If for some reason you get there before I get it done, just let me know and I will get it done quicker for you. But I don't know that will happen. Anyway, on Patreon, Patreon is free and members only. It is only available to members. It is $10 a month for the Patreon across the board. And eventually I will be doing these live new moons every month. Right now, they're just going to be, the paperwork is there. I've also put rune symbols and tarot cards, and I've done them in Rider-Waite. So you can cut out, like, you don't have to have a deck of cards or a set of rune stones in order to participate in this. If you want to purchase stones and or tarot cards, we also carry, or I carry those on my webpage, www.mysticmoonshop.com. And you can purchase rune sets. We have them in stones, we have them in woods, we have them all different kinds. You can also purchase tarot cards. Like, these are the stone ones. I don't even know. Here, there's a symbol. So those are amethyst, and then we also have some that are like made out of ceramic. We have some that are made out of wood. There's a bunch of different ones. But and then of course tarot cards. Now, you can use either or on this program. You can decide to do runes, or you can do tarot. And you can even do, let's say you want to do it 1 month, but you don't want to put a whole lot of effort into it, so you may not necessarily want to get into, like Toth or Rider Waite, or one of these other more in-depth decks. Maybe you just want to do like angel cards. You can do angel cards. You can. It's really simple. There's no um, there's no specifics for what you can do. So if you want to make it a little easier, just do angel cards, and then that way you have like everything. Maybe you have, I don't know, like this deck right here. This is called the Conscious Spirit deck. And whenever I'm feeling a little tired or a little like, where I don't really want to do a whole lot, I will use these cards because it has the definition at the bottom. There's, uh, simple and easy. You don't have to go through and read an entire page in a book, or if you know what the definitions are, like a lot of people know what tarot definitions are on like Rider Waite, but you may want to use a book and read for your definitions, because there might be something in there that wasn't in your mental capacity, mental information, of the card definitions, or maybe you don't use them. The other thing you can do too is we have all of these are all dice. We also do these in runes, but this is witchy runes 2, runes, moon symbols, everything else. You could use something like this and come up with your definitions or your information. So it starts out with the seasons and the sun cycles. So right now we're in fall. We just went into fall on the 20th, no, 23rd, I think, 22nd, 23rd. So this is when the sun enters Libra. This is a time of thanksgiving and gratitude. The Libra energies are work, harvesting, preserving. This is a time of year where there's a lot of work. If you were, doing, living the old life where you're raising your own food, it would be a very busy time of year, because you would be preserving all of the food that you grew during the spring, summer, and fall months. So harvesting, preserving, preparing for winter, stocking, storing, using everything you have, collecting seeds, cutting wood, and getting ready for the new season. So that would be the one that we're in right now. And then it has spring, summer, fall, and winter. Now, eclipses. The lunar eclipse they usually come in pairs, sometimes threes. I don't know what is in my eye, but it's really bugging me. Anyway, lunar eclipse was in Pisces a couple weeks ago during the full moon. Now we're in a new moon lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse. Lunar eclipse was in Pisces. So lunar eclipses are an ending. This is a passage of the moon on the opposite side of the sun. This is a door closing, a good time to make physical changes. During the solar eclipse, which we're in now, is a door opening. This is a time of inspiration and goals. get a clear direction, and break free of constraints. So that is exactly what is going on right now. Only power packed, because we also have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and it is getting ready to leave Capricorn finally. And that is huge. Huge. I think it's been something like 16 years that Pluto's been in Capricorn. So think back to 16 years before, life was probably a whole lot different. And now it's going into Aquarius. So things are getting ready to really kind of change. But it's happening at the same time as the solar eclipse. There's a bunch of other things that are happening as well. There's Libra, Aries axis. So you've got Aries houses, you've got Libra houses, you've also got Cancer houses. You've got, I think, ninth house possibly. Anyway, you have all these things that are happening, and they're all happening at the same time, and they're all working on the theme of death and rebirth and endings and beginnings. Very heavily. Very, very heavily. So, it says, basically, you create your life with the assistance of your guides, angels, and God. Everything in your life is on you, and it is your sole responsibility to create the life that makes you happy and fulfilled. Sometimes that's not always easy, but it is factual. It is our responsibility. It's nobody else's responsibility to make us happy. It is nobody else's responsibility to make us fulfilled. We have to do that for ourselves. We have to focus on ourselves and what we need, more than we focus on other people. And I think this solar eclipse is kind of pushing us in that direction. Um, it's definitely opening people's eyes and making them see what they need to change to get to that kind of a place. Get to a place where they can focus on their own needs and their own desires and what makes them happy and what makes them fulfilled. And when you're happy, you're fulfilled, and all your needs and desires are taken care of, anybody coming into your life, you want to make sure that they are in the same place you are. You don't want somebody who hasn't healed wounds. You don't want somebody who has a bunch of issues. You want somebody who is in the same place you are. And hopefully, if you are maintaining your energy in that place, you won't attract a lot of people or any people that are dealing with, issues. You will maintain your energy, and the person who comes to you will match your energy. Anyway, the opening exercise on this is gratitude. You want to think of 3 things that you are grateful for, and you want to write them down. I recommend doing that every single day of your life. When being grateful or praying to God does not happen at the 6 o'clock dinner hour when everybody sits down at the table. It happens all the time. Gratitude, living a life of gratitude, is looking at things around you, things that maybe you've even created, and being grateful for their existence, being grateful for the fact that they came into your life. And this is especially true with things like people, because a lot of people forget that the people that are coming into our lives are very special, and they can't be replaced, and they need to be you need to look at them at least once a day and be grateful for the fact that they're in your life, because they might not be there the next time you look, you know? And that's not to be paranoid, but gratitude is about enjoying what the universe, what God has given to you. You know, they've answered your prayers. They've given you this person who you've been asking for. And if you just, you know, go about your business and get pissy about the fact that they're there, or, you know, get grumpy about how they do things and what they're doing, instead of just being grateful for the fact that they're in your life and they're making a difference, yeah, they're probably not going to be there for very long. Unfortunately, that's kind of the way it works. So the second part of this is you write down what your goal is. What are you creating, or what do you want to create? And it doesn't have to be a creation. It could be a demolish. What do I want to demolish in my life? Okay? What is not working? What do I absolutely, I wouldn't focus on the negative, but you could say, instead of creating, I want to demolish this. But you don't really have to. You can just put down, you know, a happy, fulfilling marriage. And if your current marriage is not happy and not fulfilling, then obviously that kind of takes care of it, right? What is my primary focus this lunation? And then you want to write down, you want to pull your card. You want to pull your card, pull your rune, and write down what that is. So for me, it would be leadership. And that's pretty much a theme for me lately. Let's see. The next one you do is, what do I focus on to create my desires? And you pull a card for that one. And then you make notes. Now you can write down the notes. Like if you know what the definitions are, like I can look at this and I can say, okay, this is leadership. But whatever thoughts come to my mind at that time, I can adjust and write down my notes for what I am trying to create, or whatever the question is. The next one is, what am I learning this lunation? And the next one is, what action must I take to reach my goals? That will take a little bit of time, but whatever your situation is, those are all very good questions. Those are, you know, what is my focus? What am I trying to create? And what am I learning? And then what action must I take in order to reach my goals? And by the end of that, you should have a pretty good idea of what you're trying to create and what you need to focus on. Now, there is also all the moon cycles. So there is the new moon, the crescent moon, the first quarter moon, the gibbous moon, the full moon, the disseminating moon, the last quarter moon, and the balsamic moon. So on the new moon, this is the beginning of a cycle. We feel the pull to start something new. Focus on this issue. Notice what issues have come up for you recently. Notice what you are dreaming or daydreaming about. Then you want to write down the date. There is a spot where you can write down the sign that the moon is in on that date. You can find that out by just doing a search on the internet, or if you have like a new moon calendar, or a calendar that tells the moon cycles. And then you can pull your card or your rune, and then you can make notes down there. The reason why I put sign on here is because a lot of times I notice that certain things run really smoothly for me when the moon is in a particular sign. And certain things do not run very smoothly for me when the moon is in a particular sign. So I can kind of keep track of where the moon is and what if it's going to be something that's going to be difficult or if it's going to be easy. Now, the card or the rune that you're pulling, you're probably going to get that indication in that as it is. So, the crescent moon, this is when it pulls you to clarify your new moon theme. You will feel a pull to act, and that usually happens roughly 2 days, 2+ days, 2.5 days, 2.25 days, depending on the moon and the phase that it's in. But roughly, you can plan on 2 to 2.5 days per cycle. So from the new moon to the crescent moon, it's about 2 days. Let's see. First quarter moon, take steps. The energy of the universe and your guides will join in to help at this time. On the gibbous moon, the spirit steps in to assist you, and you have new thoughts, ideas, and desires to act. That's because they're giving you messages. They're helping you through this process. So be open to signs. Be cautious. Be aware of things like numbers. Be aware of, just feelings that you have. Be aware of things that you read, things that you hear on TV, things that people say. Those are all ways that spirit communicates. Oh, and songs, okay? You are not going crazy if you hear a song repeating the same line over and over and over again until you really want to pull your hair out. It is spirit speaking to you. It could be other things too, but generally speaking, your guardian, your guides, so on and so forth, they speak to you through music. Music, numbers, signs, symbols. Another thing too is you can do this. You can even do this with your Bible. Pick up your Bible, thumb through it, and then just stop on a page and point to something and read it. And you can do that with any book. It doesn't have to be a Bible. It doesn't have to be anything specific. You can do it with, what do you call these again? Dictionary, thesaurus. You can do the same thing. You can go through and just, if you're looking for answers from your guides, you can just pick a spot and say, oh, okay. And normally it will answer your question. I know it seems kind of crazy. You can use books. Sometimes it'll happen with the TV. Like you'll sit down to watch something and the first thing that comes up is a quote or somebody saying exactly the answer to your question. So the difficult part is not asking the question, and it's not getting the answers. It is listening for the answer. It is paying attention to what's being said around you, to you. It may not be to you. It may be to somebody else, but it is the answer that you were looking for. So pay attention. It could be you find something laying on the floor, or you move something that you're getting ready to sit down and you move something and right there it says exactly what the answer to your question. So work on sharpening your intuition and seeing the answers. Full moon is major revelations concerning your theme. Energy is at its peak. Expand your awareness, see things clearly. Disseminating at the new moon, the seed is planted. At disseminating, it is harvested. That is right before or right after the full moon, within a couple days. Make changes. Last quarter moon, make changes. Release anything holding you back. You are clear now and need to let anything go that doesn't serve you. what you release could be an idea or a belief or a physical item or a physical thing. Like, could be a person, could be where you're living, it could be anything. Uh, Balsamic is the last day of the lunar cycle. This is preparation for letting it all go. Tomorrow brings a new cycle, and that is when the new moon comes back in again. Now, is it going to take one lunar cycle to solve your problem? Probably not. Okay? It just doesn't work that way. A lot of times, and especially, it kind of depends on what you're working on, what you're manifesting, what you are trying to create in your life, what you are required to get rid of, what is, there's a whole lot of things that happen. Like, when you're creating things, sometimes in order to create this thing that you want, the universe has to move things out of the way to make room for this thing, or to get you on this path, to get you focused in the direction of your goals and your desires. So, if that is the case, then you are on universal time, which is a little bit longer than our human time. The universe thinks that, a year is like a day. And to us, a day is, sometimes a year is a long time for us, depending on what's going on. I don't think of a year is, quick timing. And you'll hear that a lot, like when you're doing readings. I always hate to make references to it's coming fast or it's coming quick, because it's quick to the universe, and what is actually quick could be a year or two. It, where the person that you're reading, or me, or anybody else, their perception of quick could be different. It could be within hours, it could be within weeks, it could be within months. Everybody's perception is a little bit different. So you can do like a weekly check-in on your new moon uh, list, just once a week. When you have time, sit down and look at what your creation was, how accurate what you were creating is to this time, and if there were any revelations about things that started to happen to move you in that direction, or if you moved in that direction and how smooth things went. You will be able to see within a couple weeks, maybe by the end of the lunar cycle, how simple or how difficult your manifestation is going to be. It's like you will sit down at the end of the month and you'll go, my. Or you'll sit down, at the next new moon, and you're getting ready to do your new moon creation for the next month, and you review the last month so you can make adjustments to the next month, and you'll have some revelations. I mean, you'll have some serious revelations. You'll be going, oh, well, that was a bad move. Nope, that was a good move. Oh, yeah, that happened, and that really progressed my my project along. So that's kind of a fun time. I do not recommend doing it. You can do it if you miss the new moon. And let's say you figure it out a couple days later. You can still do it, just start on the moon cycle that you're in. So, don't go back to the new moon. Just if you realize I forgot to do my new moon planning or my new moon manifesting, go in and say, okay, but it's the crescent moon, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the crescent moon, or it is, whatever it is. If it gets too far towards the end of it, I would just wait until the next new moon and then work on the new one. And I think I said, oh yeah, so Patreon has tools that you can use. The webpage will have tools. As far as the packet goes, I have not gotten it up there. It's a digital download, and I just added a digital download page. So I've got some work to do, which is fine because it's the new moon. Anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope you guys will take some time to sit down and give it a try, because it makes a world of difference, especially if you're doing it every month and you're focused on your goals and you know what you want to create. It can really make a difference in your life, especially if you are that type of a personality where you like to, you like to have a goal in mind and you like to break it down into small chunks to create it. And that honestly is the key to creating your dreams, manifesting your wants and desires, is breaking everything down into small segments, small bites, and staying consistent with it all the time. So if you are one that sits down every new moon and puts this together and thinks about your goals and your plans, you are probably going to get to your goals a whole lot sooner than somebody who, I don't need that. And you can incorporate it with other things too. Like if you're starting a business, you can say, okay, this is where I want to take my business this month. And is that possible? And Spirit's going to be there telling you, this is what you need to do to make this happen. Or they're going to be telling you, sorry, it's not going to happen this month, but keep working at it and we'll get there. Love and blessings. Have a happy new moon. And I hope that you guys are cleansing well, because life is really fabulous. I can feel the energy that is coming from this new moon. I am very excited about the change in energy. I know it's going to be profound, and I know it's going to be really positive. And even though right at this moment, some people may be drowning in emotion or cleansing, or it really is going to be absolutely amazing. And I wish everybody a perfect clearing and a very bright future.